Welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow ET Now special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. Here's what we have lined up on the show for you today. A special conversation with Rahul Agarwal, the MD and CEO of Lenovo for the India region. And on Bright Sparks tonight, we feature Capri Coast, which will help you do your home at the click of a button, and Atero, which helps you manage your waste responsibly. So that's what we have in store for you tonight. Let's start off right away with our conversation with the India MD of Lenovo on our Insight segment. Now, even as the government is working hard to ensure that more companies are integrating technology into their businesses, global personal technology giant Lenovo on its part says it's eyeing a bigger share of the pie where its MSME revenues are concerned. In this exclusive chat, Rahul Agarwal, the MD and CEO of India region for Lenovo, told me that the company has more than doubled its revenues from the segment in just the last 1 year and is getting more aggressive in the space. Take a listen. As India changes and as companies adapt more and more to technology, what kind of opportunities, I want to talk sector specific and then come to a company specific view, is this really presenting for companies?
Well, I think irrespective of the segment and the sector, if you look at India as a country, everything is moving forward. After years and years of relative stagnation, I think there is hope. That our GDP is growing, government is putting a lot of push behind growth and the whole Digital India initiative. So as an organization who is plugged into pretty much every part of technology, whether it's a phone or a tablet or a PC or a server, I think we are quite excited about what is looking ahead of us.
So what kind of specific opportunities does that present for Lenovo?
Any segment, let me start with the smartphone, right? Indian market today is at about 100 million phones. Nobody imagined that a few years ago. People thought that no, India is a feature phone country with low internet penetration and low awareness of internet and low education level. It can never hit that kind of numbers. But today we are talking about becoming the second largest phone market in the next 3 to 4 years. And Lenovo is well placed. We're the number 3. We've got 2 brands. We've got the Lenovo Vibe brand. We've got the Moto brand. And I think that is really laying the foundation for a huge user base for us. Now, if I look at PC, let me break down the PC into 3 parts. The large enterprise, the SMBs, which I think you call SMEs, and the consumers. And we are seeing traction in all. When I look at the overall PC market, I feel that India is still largely underpenetrated. Unlike the other emerging markets, look at China, Brazil, Indonesia, Malaysia, Russia, they all have PC penetration of more than 30%. India is still stagnating at 10%. So we believe that with the economic growth, with the more and more organizations becoming bigger, with more and more small organizations coming into the stage and more people earning more and more money and getting more educated, we believe that the gap that we have in the penetration should get bridged. And on the other hand, if I look at how the world is changing, the cloud is all over the place, more and more companies are doing virtualization. So we have huge opportunities in the server segment as well.
Can you quantify just how large MSME is for you and what's the growth potential you see there for Lenovo?
Now, when you look at SMEs, it's got a wide spectrum of customers. Part of it behaves like large enterprises, part of it behaves like consumers, and the core perhaps behave like SMB. For Lenovo, it presents a biggest opportunity because our market share today is the lowest in that segment. We pretty much dominate the commercial segment on the PC front. We are fairly strong in the consumer segment, but SMB is where we are probably at around 15% share. Now the good news is that it's moved from 10 to 15 in just 1 year. So to me and to the organization, this definitely presents us as a large area of opportunity for us to improve.
Okay, so if you're saying 15% now, in the next 5 years, what's the kind of growth you're anticipating in SME?
Well, I can tell you next 3 years, I definitely see us crossing 30% in SMB.
So you're saying that in the last 1 year, when you've moved from 10 to 15% in terms of the market share, you did something differently. What did you do differently, and what advice would you have for MSMEs, for entrepreneurs, when it comes to integrating technology more in their businesses?
First is internal. The way we were structured was, in my opinion, not efficient. So we created a new structure of organization where we actually cut SMB into two parts, which is small business and medium business. So we had more focus, and rather than having one team attack the entire segment, we had two teams with different skill sets, with different route to market, with different products, with even different pricing. Number two, we did something which is very difficult to do in our category, which is invest more resources. As you know, profitability is always a challenge, and investing in people or investing in anything is difficult. But we took the tough call that, hey, in a segment where we are small, we will over invest. So we invested. And the third part is fairly basic. I would not say we did something very dramatic actually in any of these areas, but we realized that our partner base, our business partner base, which we call dealers, was fairly thin. Traditionally, we were strong in the larger cities, but the SME was growing more and more in the hinterland, in the rural parts of the country. And we went out on a very focused approach where we welcomed business partners for the first time. We often see around that because of the scale of the business, because of the initial struggle of the business, sometimes entrepreneurs take time to invest in the technology. Barring the first PC or a laptop, it takes time for them to garner courage to say, hey, all my employees should have hardware, and am I investing in software? Am I doing something to automate my business? So I think that the embrace of technology should be sooner than later. And while it's something that everyone is realizing, but when you're actually running a small enterprise, every single penny pinches you. And you're so focused on building the fundamentals of the business that you don't see IT as an enabler of the business. You see IT as something that facilitates. So I think that's a fundamental mindset change that could help people.
Talk about Lenovo in India in terms of percentage or a revenue contribution to APAC. Where does India stand, and where do you see it headed in the next 5 years?
Well, we've moved up quite dramatically in the last 1 year, and that's because we also got in new businesses. We got in Motorola phone business. We got in the IBM x86 server business, but we also dramatically grew in the phone business. We from nowhere we became the number 3 player in the country, and in PC also we got some large government deals. So when I look at the end of the last financial year, we would probably be about 15% plus for Asia Pacific.
You're talking about mobile phones, and we're talking at a time when digital as well as 4G, the revolutions are starting, and it's going to roll out also on the back of the 4G networks we're talking about. How much of an opportunity is that for you, sitting where you are? And also, if I can loop it back to the previous questions in terms of MSMEs, how much of an opportunity will it be for them?
Well, definitely phone is the opportunity. If you look at PC, it's a 9 million unit opportunity, not growing really, but phone is a 100 million unit opportunity, which is growing. It's almost doubled, I think, in the last 2 to 2.5 years. And what is good news is that India has embraced the technology quite fast. So if you look at 4G, we see that more and more customers want to buy 4G, even though 4G network may not be available, because they know that look, 4G is coming, 3G is coming, and it's good to know that we are number 1 in the 4G market within the smartphone segment. So as I said, when you are in the technology segment, you have to decide which part of the spectrum do you want to play more. You can't deselect. When you want to be a market leader, Lenovo wants to be a market leader in anything that we do, which poses us a very unique and a strange problem, which is we find it difficult to deselect. Right? When you want to be a niche player, it's easy to select and deselect. But for us, it's about more focus and medium focus. And I think we focus on the 4G segment, which means that consumers today look at us as a more technology brand than some of the other brands available, for example, in the phone category.
How soon, or how much further will it take for SMEs and MSMEs to really start seeing the benefits or the effects of Digital India?
My own state today is cautious optimism. I think we all expected too much to happen in the first year. That didn't happen. But when you talk to the government, you clearly see that they get it. But we also know how complicated our process is, to actually make anything get implemented. I would say that if things don't happen this year, my cautious optimism probably will move to cautious pessimism.
A quick last question. Are you happy with the kind of growth that you've seen in India so far?
Yes, I mean last year definitely was a breakthrough year. We probably definitely crossed $2 billion in revenues. But we are in a new financial year. So can we continue that kind of growth is the question that is occupying my mind right now.
Let's take a quick break, and on the other side we'll be featuring two exciting bright sparks, Capri Coast as well as Etoro. We'll tell you what they do. Just stay tuned. Welcome back. With us here on Leaders of Tomorrow. On Bright Sparks tonight, we're featuring two companies that are standouts in their space, Capri Coast as well as Etoro. Have you been looking for ideas on how to do up your home but have been stretched for time? What if we told you that now you can do that sitting at your desk? CapriCoast.com is a startup that provides modular kitchens and home furnishing solutions. Founded by Javed Ayaz in 2014, Capri Coast offers over 1,000 pre-designed kitchen layouts on its website in the form of 3D catalogs. Polimi Mukhopadhyay takes a look.
With kitchen spaces shrinking with each new apartment we buy, the need for modular furniture is increasing. This Bengaluru-based startup promises to make kitchen designing feel like a breeze on the seaside. Meet Capri Coast. It provides modular kitchen and home furnishing solutions in the most cost-efficient and stress-free way. Founded in 2014, Capri Coast has a network of over 50 plus partner showrooms in 15 cities of India.
It's actually an O2O company, online to offline, and we are the best company for that in India. Whatever they see on the website, they can go to the store also. It's online to offline basically. They'll see it online and they'll get it offline also.
Capri Coast claims to be India's only marketplace for modular kitchen furnishing. The company partnered with Slick and Spacewood and has over 2,000 plus happy customers in its kitty. Capri Coast aims to eliminate the middleman and get the best prices for the products to their customers.
We are a marketplace, and all brands or suppliers who provide interior solutions are on a platform. So Sleek and Spacewood are just two examples, and they're two of our largest brands on our platform. Sleek is by far the largest brand in the modular kitchen space in India. So, and they are available online only through us.
Capri Coast allows a customer to choose from their internationally inspired designs, textures, colors, and specifications, just with the click of a button. With an agenda to organize this unorganized sector of modular furniture in India, Capri Coast has successfully attracted Accel Partners India and raised $3.5 million in Series A funding.
Jawad, what is the story behind this unique name Capri Coast?
So, Capri Coast, as you know, is actually a part of southern Italy. It's a coastline in southern Italy, very beautiful. And it actually stands for peace, tranquility, you can imagine a breeze. Exactly the opposite of what a consumer thinks about when they want to get into fitting out their homes today in India. So we want the home fit out process, which seems intimidating, which seems challenging, to actually feel like a breeze on the Capri coast.
Tell us about the online infrastructure of your company. Take us to your website.
So the website is, there's actually two ways a customer can approach the website, and the simplest, the easiest way for a consumer to understand what we offer is to come onto the website and tell us what he's looking for. We ask him a few very simple questions regarding the size, shape of his space, and then our system, the technology, is able to generate in real time pricing from multiple suppliers in an instant. So this is what we call InstaQuote.
Give us an idea, why do you think your business model is very attractive to the investors?
Investors look for something unique where there is value being added to consumers, which is clearly true in this case. Then they look for unit economics. So, if you grow and you start selling 1,000 units of let's say homes, are you making money on every unit or are you losing money on every unit? Because if you're losing money, you can't make it up in volume, right? So the unit economics of this business are very good. The last is, can you scale? Can you scale without adding tons and tons of people? Because then again, your unit economics get impacted. So the way this business is structured is that we have no showrooms, no physical infrastructure, no factories. Our entire investment and focus is technology and technology-led marketing as well.
What is the future vision for your company? Where do you want to see yourself 5 years from now?
So what we want to do and what we think is very doable for us is to be the #1 aggregator of home interior services in India and potentially pan-Asia. And an aggregator, to just to make sure that it's clear, is something that has happened very successfully in the travel industry. Today when you go to buy a travel product, you go to an aggregator. You typically don't go to the airline, you typically don't go to the hotel themselves. You go to an aggregator that gives you a collection of offerings priced in real time, comparable in real time, so you can make an educated, informed choice using the aggregator's technology. And the aggregator is connected into the supply side to get real time pricing. That's exactly what we want to do on the home fit out side.
With transparency on its portal and an ingenious online to offline business model, Capri Coast is set to become the one-stop solution for all the modular kitchen decor requirements in India.
As the saying goes, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and this holds true for Attero, India's only end-to-end e-waste recycler and waste management company. Attero is capable of extracting pure metals, in fact, from dead electronics. Ambika Sharma takes you through the journey of this environmentally conscious company. Take a look.
In this age of digitization, have you ever wondered what happens to your electronic goods when they are of no use? They turn into electronic waste or e-waste, and India is one of the largest producers of e-waste in the world. But one company that's striving to promote eco-friendly reuse and recycling of electronics is Attero.
We talk about digital India and the way forward, but how many of us really talk about the problem of e-waste that's being generated? So Nitin, tell us how much e-waste is generated in India and how does that impact us adversely?
India generates close to 1.5 million tons of electronic waste every year, right? And there are 5 ways in which e-waste impacts us. First is it's hazardous in nature, so contains traces of cadmium, chromium, mercury, lead, and needs to be handled in an environmentally friendly manner. Second, it's a data security issue. More and more individuals, forget corporates, have a lot more data in digital form, whether it's photographs you have on your cell phones, bank account information on your laptops, or what have you. So at the time of disposal, data sanctity is extremely critical to be taken care of. Thirdly, it's a legal issue. So the government of India came out with a regulation around electronic waste around 2.5-3 years ago, which brought in the concept of EPR, or extended producer responsibility. In simple terms, what it means is Apple's responsibility on the cell phone does not end when the warranty ends. Its responsibility ends when it is end of life, taken back and recycled properly, right? Fourth, electronic waste is a richer and a cheaper source of metals. Lastly, it's about sustainable development. As the demand for electronics is growing, the demand for metals and materials which make it up is also growing. A sustainable future is when a certain percentage of that demand is met by the recycle stream.
What made you take the plunge into entrepreneurship and set up a company like Attero? How did the journey really start for you?
So Attero was really Rohan's idea, who's a co-founder in the firm. He had no laptop which he didn't know what to do with. So Attero started out more as an environmental concern rather than a business proposition. But the further we dug into it, further we realized with the right technology and the right business model, we could make a really viable business opportunity out of it.
Talking about the initial days, Nitin, how easy or difficult was it to raise funds?
So Ambika, when you raise funds, it always is difficult during the journey, right? But when you are able to finally culminate that process, it looks easy in hindsight, right? So that's our situation as well. We started Attero back in 2008, and we were lucky enough to raise the first round of capital from NEA Indo-US Ventures, which is a venture capital firm based out of Bangalore, and DFJ, which is another venture capital firm based out of Silicon Valley, wherein they put around $6 million in the company when the company had not even started, right? So we were very lucky to sort of raise that kind of amount at sort of pre-Series A or seed stage, and then really the entrepreneurial journey of Attero started from there.
As India's only end-to-end e-waste recycler company, Attero has set up a recycling facility for recovering reusable resources from electronic waste in an eco-friendly manner. The company has also established an electronics refurbishing facility to extend the useful life of old electronics and promote their reuse.
Explain your business model in detail and who really are your primary clients.
So what we do for a living, Ambika, is we collect end-of-life electronic products like end-of-life refrigerators, washing machines, mobile phones, you name it. Anything that runs on electricity and has become end-of-life, we collect those products. We recycle them using technologies patented by us globally. Globally, we applied for 205 patents, out of which 4 have already been granted to us. By using these technologies, we extract precious metals and base metals and other metals from electronic waste, for example, like pure cobalt, gold, palladium, silver, copper, nickel, tin, lead, and sell that back in the commodities market. The purity of these metals that come out is as pure as from virgin mine, for example, right? Some of the products that we get as input are reusable, so we refurbish them, that is make them, repair them and make them reusable and put them to OEM like standards, and then sell them back online to consumers through a platform called Gobol, gobol.in. From a supplier base perspective, today we have tie-ups from more than 21 OEMs, including Samsung, Wipro, HCL, you name it, right? We have tie-ups with more than 300 odd corporates, right, where we pick up all kinds of electronic waste from them. And finally, we pick up from consumers as well and retailers like Flipkart and so on and so forth. So all these are the people who supply electronic waste to us.
What differentiates Attero from other players in this space, and what are the opportunities for growth in this sector?
What separates Attero from anybody else in the country is that Attero is the only company in the country to be able to do end-to-end management. All other companies in the country only do mechanical recycling. Our technology enables us to extract more from this electronic waste and do it in a much more environmentally friendly manner. And forget India, even internationally, our technology is the lowest capex and opex available to do this kind of a solution.
Recycling 15,000 tons of e-waste every year, Attero is using technology to create a more sustainable world.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Leaders of Tomorrow. We'd love to hear from you. Do write in to us at leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com. Reach us on social media using the hashtag LOT. And you can always call us on the number which is flashing below on your screens. Thanks for watching.